Farmers, trust is everything. At Genesis Fertilizers, we're not just proposing to build a facility, we're building a future designed for you. With real progress already underway, we're closer to providing Western Canadian farmers with a reliable, locally produced fertilizer supply. Now is the time to take control of your farm's future. Learn more at genesisfertilizers.com/credibility.
Shaun Haney here with Real Ag Radio, Rural Radio 147, Sirius XM. I'm at the NAFB meeting in Kansas City, joined right now by Mr. Daniel Whitley. He is Administrator of Foreign Agricultural Services with USDA. Mr. Whitley, it is great to meet you.
Great to meet you, and thanks for coming by and stopping by. I think we've got a lot of interested folks here this week, and it looks like it's going to be a great day.
Okay, so for some of the audience, Foreign Agricultural Service, what does this department do at USDA?
Great question. So our purpose is really quite simple, to help American agriculture sell their products all around the world. And we do that in a number of ways, but a big way we do that is to help market and promote U.S. agricultural products through trade missions, trade shows, reverse buying missions. We basically handhold our producers and exporters and introduce them to buyers and importers all around the world.
So obviously connecting some of the farm groups, for example, to companies that are looking to buy American. Now, are some of those products already currently developed markets, or are you always on the fringe trying to open up new markets for American products?
We do both. I mean, obviously, we've got some pretty consistent top markets that we have access to each and every single year. China typically leads the way, followed by Mexico and Canada. But we've been working hard to try to diversify and identify some new markets in Southeast Asia and the Middle East, certainly parts of Africa where we see opportunities for American agricultural products. So we do a little bit of both.
Talk about people on the ground. How many people are in the Foreign Agricultural Service doing this work to expand markets for U.S. products?
Yeah, great question. We've got about 1,000 in our agency worldwide, 150 American officers overseas, and they're supported by local hires, another 350. So we got a footprint of about 500 around the world and another 500 in headquarters in Washington.
What's your biggest challenge right now when you're having conversation? And obviously, each country is going to be different, but if you can theme it out for us a little bit, what's your main challenge?
Yeah, for me, I would just say it's sound science. I think American agriculture is the leader in accepting science, technology, innovation. We're at the forefront of sort of the best production agricultural practices in the world, and unfortunately, some of our trading partners have yet to come around and understand the true virtues and the safety of some of these technologies. So trying to educate our trading partners on these production agricultural practices is one of the biggest challenges we face.
We're at a time where protectionism is heightened compared to maybe where it was, say, 10, 15 years ago. How do you combat that? How do you keep keep these markets open and continue to drive new markets for U.S. products?
Yeah, I think it's really supply and demand fundamentals. I think there's no way around the fact that food security is a concern, and it's going to be a concern as the global population continues to expand. And if we are to be able to feed the world, which we can do along with other trading partners around the globe, we're going to have to accept that sound science, technology, and innovation is one of the only paths to do that. There's no new land to be brought into production, but we know the global population forecast to reach 10 billion people by the year 2050. So we have to understand that without accepting these techniques and these methodologies, that we're going to put a lot of people in harm's way and not be able to feed them.
I think a lot of people are predicting you've got your work cut out with you going forward with China. We've obviously got a new administration coming in January, very trade focused, probably good for the budget of your department. But at the same time, China's going to be a big focus here and resorting the deck, so to speak.
Yeah, China presents a lot of uncertainty for American agriculture. There's really no true rhyme or reason on some of their decisions when it comes to economics, when it comes to trade, and when it comes to the relationship with American agriculture. So it's important that we're able to identify alternative markets so that we're not super reliant on China, where they can bring unintentional harm to our farmers. We've got to be able to make sure we can access markets, but also hold China accountable for free and fair trade practices.
Is India that kind of not a substitute, but is that the next focus after China when it comes to that? Like, you just don't replace a China, the size and the scope of it, but India is maybe a close second.
Yeah, no, India, it's a close second when we talk about size and population and scale. But India has historically been quite protectionist when it comes to agriculture. And so that's a very tough trading partner for us. We've got a lot of opportunity, but it's a lot of work. And it's a lot of shaping and changing of attitudes and accepting the role of major ag countries in the global landscape.
Yeah, I think our Canadian listeners will very much agree that if you thought trade with China was difficult, let me introduce you to their brother India. It is it's its own set of challenges. I want to ask you about Africa, because Africa, when I talk to a lot of Americans that are export focused, Africa comes up a lot as that next place to really expand exports.
Yeah, no, and the macroeconomics around Africa are strong. I just mentioned by the year 2050 we'll be looking at a global population of 10 billion people, where 1 in 4 will live in Africa. So we know the future growth opportunities and increased demand will come in Africa. We also see a shift from low income to middle class in Africa, and we know that one of the first changes middle class consumers make with that new income is their diets. They start to consume more meat products, higher quality protein, and more fruits and vegetables. And those are spaces where American agriculture is quite competitive. So Africa should be something we take a very strong look at, because I think it presents a lot of opportunities in the future for our products.
But I think a lot of times it's also lost on people. It's not, Africa's not a country, it's a continent. There is a wide pendulum of money from a consumer perspective, and all those countries are different than each other. It's not just one entity, which probably makes creates some challenges as you're trying to open up that market more.
Yeah, no, you're right, but one of the things we do see is trends, and they have several different customs union, East Africa Customs Union, and some other loosely organized associations. And the thinking is, if you can sort of penetrate one or two key countries, that will influence sort of the behaviors and the policies of other neighboring countries. So Kenya's a big leader in that space. Obviously, on the West Coast side, you've got Senegal and some countries where we think we could have some penetration.
I want to finish up asking you about Canada. Trade with Canada. How would you describe that trading relationship at this point?
I think Canada has been a tremendous trading partner. Obviously, we've got some issues, specifically around dairy in some instances, and on wine. But no trading partner comes without some challenges that you have to overcome and face. So we've got some challenges, but we've got a great working relationship. We can talk with our counterparts, explain our views, and likewise they can do to us. And hopefully we can move forward and address the challenges that we face.
Do you see it as a market that can expand the amount of goods that it's already purchasing from the U.S.?
Well, typically with your developed markets, you have a lot of saturation that already exists. You don't have a lot of new consumers, population growth. They're pretty wealthy to begin with. But there are opportunities for a lot of niche products, but I think we can also make gains and improvements in just the policy environment. I think some of the policies could be updated and help improve the outlook for our market access.
Well, it's been great to chat with you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of NAFB.
All right. Thank you.